Hi, how are you? Natasha here.
And Kirk,
All right, this morning or today, we want to talk about time. So much time is available. Kirk says that time is
t- time
limitless.
is limitless, yet time has limits.
And there are so many of us who are stuck in our lives because of time, the lack thereof. Yet, so many of us, we're all exposed to the same amount of time. As long as we live, we're exposed to the same amount of time. So, how is it that we're using our time?
Can you imagine that the Bible speaks that we have 70 years, which amounts to 225,550 days, in which to legitimately fulfill that which God has called us on earth to fulfill? And if
Wow.
by virtue of strength we get a few more years, and it says not without pain. The truth is, I have my mother, my maternal mother. She's 81, and she's going through all types of pains. She has stopped working. My stepmother, she's blind and she's 83. Yet they are still living and
Making use of time.
making use of time.
So, talking about making use of time, how are you making use of your time? How do you become all that Kurt mentioned earlier? That we're here not just to exist, but we're here to do something specific. Like, I know that I'm here to teach. You are here to do what, Kirk?
I'm here to worship, to write songs, to preach the gospel, and most importantly, to be husband to Natasha and father
To our
and leader to
children.
all to my family. And you know
So,
mm,
all right, so we are really here to enrich the lives of others. You
yes,
too.
we are.
You are here to enrich the lives of others. How do you do that? How do you deal with personal development? You work, you have children. Life is just hectic overall. Life is hectic. It seems most times as though we do not have enough hours in a day. But yet, what if the days were extended? Would we really do more? So, what we have to look at now is how it is we're going to utilize the time that is available to us. So, for me, I can tell you what I do. Every moment is a very important moment for me. Kurt normally likes to define time as a moment, and every one of those moments are important for me, so I utilize my moments. My life is in my There are so many areas of my life, so many persons that depends on me. So I'm depended upon as a teacher,
Yes,
and in a classroom, I have so many different individuals. They have so many needs,
yes,
and they're depending on me. In my community, I'm dependent upon. In my
yes,
in my home, I'm dependent upon. At church, just in every aspect of my life, there are people
yes,
depending on me. And the truth is, I am here to enrich the lives of people. Therefore, I must present the best me. And so I utilize my time to ensure that I can be the best me that persons are depending on. So I I do a lot of reading. I read because I need to know. If let's say if I have 5 persons in my class, those are 5 individuals.
yes,
They're different and I need to know them. So I
yes,
have to read about them. I have to pray. God is their creator. He's a master. He has a master plan. So I have to do a lot of praying for the people that are depending upon me.
yes,
I have to read, I have to study their lives, I have to study their issues. I don't know everything. The Holy Spirit will reveal things, of course, but I don't know everything. So I have to read, I have to study. And so I utilize all my time. So my favorite place is the bathroom. And in my bathroom, there are books. So I don't miss a beat. If I go into my bathroom, I can read. I'm reading something. I'm listening to something that will uplift me. I'm doing something. As a matter of fact, the first book I wrote that was New Mercy Cornerstones. Was that the first book?
yes. That was the
Yes.
first one.
And guess what? I wrote that book. I did the manuscript going to meetings. So you go to a meeting, staff meeting, whatever meeting, you're not always speaking. You're listening, you're there. And in those moments, like those meetings used to be long meetings, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. I couldn't just sit down for 3.5 hours doing nothing. So I did my manuscript. So I became an author, utilizing my time well. And then whilst I was working in the public system, the guidance counselor at the school at the time, she taught me something very, very important. Monumental. It has helped me to manage my time. And that's why I really love elderly people, because they're full of wisdom.
Yes.
And she said to me one day, she says, Campbell, when I have lunchtime, I go into my car, and at the time she had some palms, those little red things, and she said, I pot these and I sell them. I go into my car during my lunch break, and I utilize my time in doing something for myself, in pushing a business for myself, because that's my time. I'm no longer on work time. That's my time. And I was like, oh my goodness, she seems to have everything together. She has her house, she has everything, her career, her children are grown and gone, and she was still making use of time. And I'm like, wow. So every moment I have, if I'm on the bus, if I'm in the supermarket, wherever I'm at, I am making use of my time so that I can be the best person that you will encounter.
I also believe that to make the best use of time, or your time, you have got to make it in the destiny definition that God has called you to.
Yes.
Now, Jeremiah 1:5 says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee and ordained thee a prophet to the nation. Jeremiah 29:11 also says that he alone knows the plans that he has for us. And for us to really and truly make the best of time that God has given us, we need to make it inside of that destiny definition, that the thing that God defines you to be. It is useless to have all this time and not knowing what to do with it.
Oh yes.
And to know what to do with it. And I find that to know what to do with your time and to walk in your destiny moment, you have got to also find out exactly what God has called you to, and be comfortable in what God has called you to,
yes,
and become matured in what God has called
yes,
you to.
And it's not automatic.
It's not automatic. It's something that you have to desperately and deliberately go after.
Say that again. You have to be
desperately and deliberately go after that which God has called you to.
And so you are an amazing worship leader.
Yes.
Did that just come by the way, or you had to do what you're telling us to do?
Being that amazing worship leader, it just didn't come just like that. I had to make decisions to change where I worshiped.
Yes.
I had to find people who could basically stir and rub and push me into that deliverance moment. It's almost like you need to find the best maternity place, the best maternity ward,
yes,
and the best midwife,
yes,
to help you to push into your destiny. You have got to be concerted. You have got to know that you are pregnant with purpose.
Yes.
And you have got to know that being pregnant with purpose, you have to nurture that pregnancy.
Yes.
And you have to understand.
Eat the right
things. Come into
the
right
nutrients.
And then you have to understand that there is a moment.
Yes.
When your trimesters would have been completely, when your trimester would have come to pass, so to speak. And then is no deliverance. Deliverance is no. You need to know when is your deliverance moment. Because if you miss it, you can have miscarriage, stillbirth, all type of complications. And I find that quite a few people would have spent a lifetime missing God. Let that not be you. Because God wants us to what? Deliberately and desperately pursue that which He has called us to. Because this is what He says to a person who will deliberately pursue what He has called him to. He says, for behold, I have made thee this day a defense city, an iron pillar, a brazen wall against the whole land, against the kings of Judah. And it goes on. But the point I'm making here, maturity comes when you are willing to push.
Oh wow, that's amazing. You know, there are so many persons who are wanting to do things but are saying that, man, I don't have the time. Because I have a full-time job, I don't have the time. Because I'm a mom, I don't have the time. Because I'm studying, I don't have the time. Because I'm not in my own space, or, you know, I don't have the time to do what I would want to do. Maybe you want to write, maybe you want to travel, maybe you want to, you want to blog, maybe you want to do even a simple video like this.
Maybe you want to get married.
Yes, you want to do things, but you're saying you don't have the time. Look here, I want to tell you that time is yours. Time is yours. So what you need to do is to just all your times, just begin to make them count. You understand? If you're traveling to work, you can be listening to something that will help you. If it is that you need to write, while you're traveling, you can be speaking it into something. You can be recording it. You can have a friend. You must have a friend who will be willing to type for you. And if you don't, there are devices that you can purchase that when you speak into it, it types. Right? Whatever it is that you want to do, there's a passion, there's an ambition that you want to pursue. You go after it. Use your lunchtime. Use those little off times, those little down times. You get to work early, put in some time. Or you know you're going to be in traffic getting home. Stay back at work or wherever you're at school and get something and do some research. Do something. Link up with people who can help your baby to leap. You know,
Yes.
like Elizabeth and Mary,
Yes.
when those two pregnant ladies
Yes.
met and the
Yes.
babies leapt.
Yes.
Look here, find people who can cause your baby to leap.
Find people who can stimulate your prophetic
Yes.
moment. Find people who can make you become. Use your smartphones.
Oh my God, there are smartphones and smartphones for a reason.
There are times when I am when the line or the idea for a song comes, and I put up my smartphone and I record that song. The line. It might just be a line.
Yes.
There are times a thought comes and I WhatsApp that thought to Natasha.
Yes.
Or I have another phone that I would WhatsApp my ideas to. But do everything that because you can go back.
Fight for your time.
Fight for your time.
Choose your time
There are times
wisely.
when the idea is flowing and I might have my notepad in the bathroom.
Look here, let me tell them something.
Tell them.
Just last month, you see, I was hospitalized. And whilst I was in the hospital, let me tell you, that could not stop me from using my time wisely.
Yes.
I was so happy to have been there, just reared me. But whilst I was there,
I wasn't happy that she was there. I had to go visit regular,
Look
which
here,
I loved.
I was working on a book that I needed to come out to be published in a few days.
Yes.
So whilst I was on the hospital bed, everybody listening to music, doing all kinds of stuff. Look here, I was in there using my smartphone to get my business going. I was there dialoguing with my the young lady that does the
editing.
I was dialoguing with my editor. And the young lady that does my book cover design all the way in Pakistan.
Yes.
And I was there, with her, doing my stuff, getting my stuff done. I was in the hospital. You understand? By the time I came out of that hospital, my book was ready.
How many books were you able to publish in the space of the time frame in which you had this malady?
Well, we hadn't mentioned the malady, so I'll talk to you about that in another video. But I've been sick for about 9 months, right? Very sick. So let me tell you, sickness should not stop you from becoming, and I'm a living testimony. I've been sick, very sick. I mean, like sick to death for the last 9 months, and in that time, I have published 4 books.
Yeah, 4 books.
I was determined.
Amazing books.
I was deliberate that this sickness was not going to have me. You understand? I was going to be my best me. And let me tell you, 4 books in the 9 months that I was sick.
Plus, she also helped to get published.
2 other persons.
authors.
Yes.
And those 2 books that she published for those 2 other authors were
best-selling.
Were
Some
best-selling
best-selling on Amazon.
new authors.
Yes.
Yes.
And so, guys, I want to encourage you to don't sit down and let time bully you. You understand? We get bullied by time. You have time. Use your time wisely. Now, this is Kirk and Natasha